What's up, YouTube? It's your boy back at you with another video. Yo. Have a cold one with your boy. Not sponsored by Corona, wish I was, but team, how the heck are you? Wanted to get on here. I'm like 9 days late into this. Holy cow. Halfway to Halloween. I know. Old news. I get it. But I was actually tagged 9 days ago, and I had no idea. Brady from Brady Zone, thank you very much. I do appreciate the reminder on that. Jay and Val from the YouTube channel, Jay and Valing Around. Haven't met these two. Hope one day I do get a chance to meet you guys because you guys are awesome. I was tagged. The gauntlet has been thrown down, like my friend Keith over at Cobwebs and Candlesticks, to do the halfway to Halloween challenge. So less talking, more, well, less doing, more talking, I guess. What's Glenn doing? I'm fixing angels. It's nice here. I'm smoking ribs in the back. So angels, let me get down here, do the video, and we'll get into it. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. Well, what's going on, YouTube? It's good to be back. Man, the sun is shining. It's fantastic. I'm outside. It's great here in New Jersey right now. I'm loving the May weather before the dog days of summer hit. But really cool. There's about 10 questions, or 9, and then I'm gonna tag some of my YouTube peeps that I follow. So when I get on the couch at night after I put in a full days of work, you know, what am I going to do? I'm going to eat some dinner, drink a nice cold beer, and watch my favorite Halloween YouTubers get on there and do their thing. So kind of getting into it, I'll just get right into it. First question, are you a fan of haunted houses? Well, God, does a bear shit in the woods? Yeah, of course. I love haunted houses. It was always a love for me. You know, we in New Jersey have some real deep history of some, first-time haunted houses. Sadly, they're no longer here anymore, and I'm talking about Castle Dracula in Wildwood, New Jersey, burned down to the ground. I've got fond memories of that place, and I've got great stories, and maybe that I could share that with, in another video later down the road. We had Brigantine Castle in Brigantine, New Jersey. These structures were massive. Again, fire, burned down to the ground. Then we had in New Jersey, down the shore, still keeping it in the shore theme, Haunted Mansion in Long Branch. Sadly, that was another haunted house that sadly burned down to the ground. And lastly, we have our Six Flags, but we call it here in New Jersey Great Adventure, and I'll always still call it Great Adventure. I don't think I'll ever call it Six Flags. It'll always be Great Adventure. That was called the Haunted Castle, and originally it was called Haunted House before that. All great. These were your first. Back in the late 70s and early 80s, these were like the first haunted houses that were ever made. And they made commercials. I was so scared. I would watch these commercials and you would see this thing creeping down the stairs, come to the Long Branch. You would watch these commercials and you're like, oh my God, I want to go. I think that was like my first inkling to what a haunted house could be, is all that. Sadly, I begged and pleaded my parents to take me over there, and it never happened. I never went to any of them, with the exception of Castle Dracula in Wildwood. That was my first real haunted house. And it was a walkthrough, it was a dungeon ride, it was everything in between. Man, there, the smells, the actors, everything in there just made your boy's head spin. And I'm like, it's the coolest thing I've ever seen, and I want to get involved. I want to do this, and maybe one day I can do that, or I can build this, or I can make that. So yeah, that kind of sparked it up for me. So yeah, I'm a big fan of these haunted houses, and now fast forward to present time. The haunted houses that are in the industry here today are just by far absolutely incredible. A couple of haunted houses that are on my bucket list, of course, Darkness in St. Louis. One day I'll get there. Mortuary in New Orleans. I'd like to get there as well. Almost happened too. But we've got a lot of Pennsylvania, a lot of haunts here. That I would love to get to. However, Mrs. Kestner is not a big fan of going to these things because she's a big fraidy cat, but it's okay. So sometimes it's like I have to go with some other people that go, but it's all cool. I enjoy it. So whatever haunt I can get to, I can get to. Again, October's crazy for all of us, so getting to a haunt is kind of like a treat. Especially I volunteer. I work at one every so often when the time hits me. Again, I'm Lloyd on the wagon. All right, so the second question here is, what is your favorite ghost story or haunted lore? Wow. If I had to pick, this is a fun one. It's the story of what's called of the Pukwudgie. If you don't know what a Pukwudgie is, go ahead, go to the go to the good old Google machine, look it up. The story, and I got it. Actually, Donna, my wife, she would listen to this podcast called Lore, and she says, "Baby, you gotta listen to this one." I said, "Okay." I listened to this one, and we listened to it together. We were on a road trip, and we were listening to like 13 of them in a row. I was like hooked on them. And there was the story of the Pukwudgie, and man, it's just such a cool story. I absolutely love it. A Pukwudgie, just looking at, or if you could describe what a Pukwudgie is, he's like a little troll, if you will, with a pot belly, kind of covered with hair, and it has this language. I'm not going to spoil what it says or what it speaks, but it does speak, and you just may want to, either YouTube it, or go to Lore and type up Pukwudgie and listen to it yourself. You'll absolutely love it. Actually, it's a good one. That, and I usually tell that because I usually tell that on the hayride to my guests. And probably a second one is the lore of why we carve jack-o'-lanterns, and where that story came from, and why we do what we do here today. People forget that that's Irish folklore as well. So a lot of history, man, a lot of history that goes along with these things. Do you plan on Halloween? Number 3, do you plan on Halloween decor hunting this year? If so, what items do you hope to find? When you do a display, and when you are living Halloween 24/7, 365, you are constantly looking for Halloween related things. You're all year long. Facebook Marketplace is going to be your favorite thing in the world. The estate sales are going to be your favorite thing in the world. The color orange is going to be your favorite thing in the world. Garage sales are going to be your favorite thing. These are your go-to things that I never really thought about until I started displaying, until I started collecting a lot of things that I know I needed to build and create. So yeah, I'm always on the hunt. I'm always looking. My head's on a swivel while I'm in the car. You know, like it's for me, it's code orange, 24/7. Um, you know, if neighbors are throwing something away, I'm gonna look and I'm gonna grab it. So I mean, that's definitely what we all do. What I can hope to find this year, I'm actually in the process of looking for a real fountain, so I can put out and display this year, and do some fun stuff with the misters and stuff like that. And I think that would be really really cool. Again, it doesn't have to be in brand new condition, excuse me, or in great condition. The more dilapidated it is, the better. Number 4, candy corn, love it or hate it. I believe you've got to be a psycho if you like candy corn, man. We've all seen Halloween Rob Zombie, right? Little young Michael Myers was sitting there at the table eating candy corn. Again, you gotta be a psycho to love them, man. Yeah, no, I can't. If I have a bite of a candy corn every season, that's saying something. But for the most part, no, they stay out of my mouth. Number 5, are you big into costumes and dressing up for Halloween? If so, what is your favorite costume of all time? All time. Of course, I love dressing up. I do my display and I tie it into what Roosevelt Hills does. Me and Donna are Victorian period vampires. You know what I mean? So I always enjoyed the lore of Interview with a Vampire. That kind of theming is kind of what I try to go for when I do my decorating and and even costuming at that point. I really do enjoy that kind of thing. But if you're asking me what my favorite all-time costume had to be or was, oh goodness, I probably would have. I'm gonna date myself right now. When I was a young Roosevelt Hills guy, I used to watch this cartoon called Plastic Man, and then followed right after Plastic Man was Fang Face and his son Fang Puss. Hanna-Barbera put these cartoons out. There were no costumes for either one of them. I wanted to be Plastic Man. No, you couldn't be Plastic Man. You couldn't go to Party City and get these things. I wanted to be Fang Face, but my sister said, I can make you a costume, but I think you would be even cuter as Fang Puss. So, lo and behold, my sister sewed this costume together. It was this brown, made out of wool, I think. This thing was warm. Had a diaper on, and she made a mask out of a bed sheet and dyed it in tea. There's just so many memories of that, of helping her, creating this, doing that, that I'll never forget those things. So yeah, that is a core memory of mine. Then maybe my second would be when I was in 8th grade. I wanted to go as Teen Wolf, as Michael J. Fox, and again, there was no masks of good werewolves at that time. So my father and I, we would go get. We went to the costume store, the magic store. There were really no costume stores at that time. But we got this hair that you would soak in water and then apply it with spirit gum. My father, before work, applied each strand of hair and spirit gummed everything to my face. I went and I had a black corduroy jacket on with a pink silk piano tie. Man, I really thought I was Michael J. Fox, man. I killed it. It was a great one. Okay, number 6. What is one activity or experience that is on your spooky season bucket list for this year? Oh, jeez. Well, I would love to try to get to Field of Screams this year. I mean, it's not that far away from me, and I'd really, 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 really like to get there if I could or if I can this year. I think I would probably be just lost in my mind. I've seen so many YouTube walkthroughs of this, and you know what goes into it, and what his family has done. Absolutely amazing. You know, that's definitely on my bucket list. If that could happen, that would be great. Okay, so next question here, it says, what is one what book, series, or movie, wow, hold on a sec, what book, series, or movie screams Halloween to you? Whew, that's a loaded question. I'm gonna start with a couple of things here, okay? And that is Fangoria. I grew up with Fangoria. I mean, this is where it began for me. Fangoria was just my face in this. So much so that I enjoyed every issue. I had a subscription to it. I would read it. And I just had, my best friend Chris and I, before there was ever a thing called Comic Cons or costuming or cosplay, there was no such thing back then. We would go to these conventions, the Chiller Theater Convention in New Jersey, or the Monster Mania conventions when they first started coming. My buddy went as Freddy. Chris, as you know, you see him in the videos on Halloween night. And I went as Jason, and these were homemade costumes. These were made by us. We didn't look all that great. Chris was good, but my costume could have needed some needed attention. But in this magazine, we were at a Fangoria, I guess, event. They were there. They were taking pictures. Well, lo and behold, look at what we have here. That's us. Mind you, a full page. I almost shit myself when I saw this. So, yeah, this stuff means everything to me. Book, movie? Do I have to say it? Come on. Do I have to say it? Starts with Nathan Grantham. The hand twisting like that out of the graveyard. Come on, look at my tattoo. Where does it come from? It comes from stuff like that. When Fluffy comes out of the crate and eats Adrian Barbeau's face off, it's still relevant today. It's what gets your boy's juices flowing. And lastly, if there was a book, Keith was, man, you were giving me all the warm and fuzzies. I was just watching your video, and you were at the library and you were pulling out like the famous monster magazine. I'm sorry, the monster books. Well, again, this was my book. It is not in the greatest shape, but I don't care. This is the movie treasure of horror movies, dude. I mean, look at all of that. Come on, you already know what I'm going here. This is what I loved, and my nose would be buried in this. So these are core memories. Why I like what I like, and the Victorian women and vampires and things like that in the graveyard and the cemetery. This is what means something to me. I have a funny story about this book. When I was left home alone, my parents went out to dinner with their friends, and my parents were big coffee drinkers at that time. And we just had dinner, and my mom was throwing out, holy cow, sorry for the winds, mom was throwing out biscuits that were in the refrigerator because they went bad. So she threw the biscuits in the trash, and right before she left, she was cleaning out the coffee pot, so she put the hot coffee grinds in the garbage. Half hour into them leaving, I'm this in the book, I'm reading, I'm reading. All of a sudden, I think I was at this page. This page, the garbage can goes boom! I was like, oh, what the hell was that? Nobody knew. I didn't know what was going on. I looked back in the garbage can, boom again, and it knocks over. I ran upstairs and got my Star Wars lightsaber to protect myself. And when my parents pulled up, man, I hightailed it out of the house. I was in the driveway. I said, "Mom, Dad," I said, there's something in the garbage." So I had to share that. That book is synonymous with it, and my family knows everything. They know why that book means as much as it does. But now you know. So they all scream Halloween to me. Number 8, how do you typically spend your Halloween night? Well, do I have to say it? Halloween night for us is our grand finale. It's our show. It's what we have worked for. It's what I have worked for all the way up until that night. We don't necessarily do a full-on week, or we don't do a walkthrough. We don't do any of it. It's just a display for people to want to come enjoy and take it for what it is. So there are no set days. Pretty much, if the lights are on, stop, take pictures, enjoy it. Music is on, lights are on, animation is going on, and I usually run that from say 8 o'clock at night till about 10:30, 11 o'clock. So, but Halloween night is, this is our party night, and man, this year it falls on a Friday, yo. So of course, a lot of that is going to be taking place, and that will be fun. So I am looking forward to it. Number 9. What does Halloween mean to you? I need to. Folks, if you know me and why it means what it means to you, there is a level of something. It's the magic, as my best friend would always say. Oh yeah, bird sanctuary over here. It is one of those things where it's the magic is in the air. You feel it. It's the build-up. It's the anticipation. It's everything. It usually starts when that colder weather comes in, and at night it starts to transition from warm to like sweater weather, right? The flavors of fall start to come out. Your pumpkin spice, your pumpkin latte, your cinnamon sugar, your all of those things, the tastes, the smells, the feels, everything that represents in fall, I love. I do like, all the other stuff that falls into play, but, why Halloween? Why doesn't, Christmas do this to you? I don't know. I don't know. I get sentimental when I think about it. There's a lot of good feelings about it. I have a lot of great memories, and when I think of great memories, I think of people that I shared those great memories with, and they're no longer with us. So I I take it personal, and I enjoy it. Hell, why do you think in our cemetery, we have our names of people that passed. You know what I mean? So I feel like they're with us when I do that, and when I pay homage to, somebody in the community here that has done something, with the town. I'd like to honor that. I think that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Whether that be somebody whether that be a family member, whether that be a pillar in your community. If you do displays and you do make tombstones and you do those things, do that. I'm telling you, do that. I really feel like it's better than just having a name that you just don't know and like, oh, who's that? I don't know. I just thought the name sounded good. Put some meaning behind it. So this way, when somebody asks you, are these people that yeah, that was my dad, that's my dog, that's my aunt, that's my mother-in-law, that's my father-in-law. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what Halloween means to me. It's family. It's friends. It's spooky. It's fun. It's everything wrapped up to me in a red, pretty bow. And it just checks off all the boxes. If I could have Halloween twice a year, I'd do twice a year. Of course I would. And I like to kind of spread that Halloween joy. And I try to do that with my town, and I'm doing that. I'm very, very heavily involved in my town here of Manville. I'm actively involved with the Manville Recreation Department, and I enjoy doing these things, and I enjoy doing and giving my love for this holiday to the masses. Everybody should experience that fun. So if somebody walks away and says, "Wow, that was like the best Halloween I ever had," I did my job. So without further ado, Jay and Val, since I've been tagged by you, the gauntlet has been thrown down. I have 6 people here I am going to shout out here. Some are not on YouTube. And that's okay. They do have Facebook pages, but I do want to highlight some of them and really show you guys what they do and why I follow them. I've become good friends with some of them because of it. And aptly put, I'm gonna start with number 1. Shouting you out, Mr. Paul. Link in the description below where you can find him on Facebook. Puddin Paul, Puddin. Paul is out in Ohio. He was my first YouTube subscriber, or I want to say the first 10. And he constantly commented on things that I was building or what I was doing. And I was just so taken back by like just one person was watching. And I still to this day, and I'm going, my God, if there's 10 people that are watching me right now, that's amazing. I always thought that was something which is really cool, but he would comment, and I'm like, wow, and I'm like, as long as he's watching, I'm like, I'll continue to crank out these videos. Lo and behold, he was doing the same exact thing I was doing. He didn't have a YouTube channel. But with the help of some friends, he now has a Facebook page. So link in the description below where you can follow my friend Paul over at his epic, and when I say epic display, his display and our display are very, very similar, with statues and what we do, and it's not a lot of us do stuff like that. So shout out. Gauntlet's been passed. Throw down, make a video. Number 2, they are not on YouTube, but again, Facebook, which I am so late in the game of following them. I wanna put Davis Graveyard here. Oh my God, hey guys, if you don't know Davis Graveyard, please. Not on YouTube, Facebook, Davis Graveyard. They are in Oregon, in Portland area, I believe. They do seminars on how to teach you on how to make a tombstone, a mausoleum. They're making things that are like structures. I mean, they've got to have a pretty big piece of property to be doing what they're doing, but the craftsmanship that I have seen that they have put into it, holy cow. They're amazing. They truly are amazing. So please check them out. Number 3 would be Oak Crest Cemetery. They are on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Hook them up, look them up. They're out in Buffalo, New York. Oak Crest was one of the first few too that I started really watching other DIYers. Do their thing, and I'm telling you, watching him build what he did from that to what he does now, it's great. I felt like I've been a part of it. I was a part of his journey, and watching him grow and watching him develop a better haunt, which is awesome. So yeah, I'm shouting you out, man. Make a video. Number 4 would be Summit Avenue Cemetery, and I'm going to start shouting out to some neighborhood haunts that are right here in our backyard in New Jersey. So if you're ever in the New Jersey area, head on out to Hawthorne, New Jersey. My friend Sal does a fantastic yard cemetery display in his yard. Zombies, ghouly ghouls, tombstones. He has made a lot of stuff. He's made tombstones that I've never seen tombstones like this. I have nothing but great things to say. My Roosevelt Hills logo comes from Sal. So Sal, if you're watching, I am forever grateful. I love it, and I thank you. I did a video. If you look through my past videos, I did a video on Summit Avenue Cemetery. So check him out. Number 5, Jim and his lovely wife, 13 Skeletons in Bridgewater, New Jersey. When me and Donna moved out here to Manville, we always heard, and I've always heard about this guy in Bridgewater does this big thing called 13 Skeletons. Yes, they are on YouTube. More on Facebook, they do more updates there than they do on YouTube, but either way, their display is really, really neat. Every year, Jim changes, and Jim and his wife changes the whole theme. And what I really like about their theming, it's whimsical. They take their 13 skeletons and they position them, and they're all movable, and every year is a different theme. And his wife is a school teacher, so they involved the kids in Bridgewater. Bridgewater is about maybe 2 towns away from here. And they do stories, and they make these books, and they incorporate these skeletons, and what they kind of do, and the antics and stuff like that. All of it. There's rhyming that goes along with the stories. It's awesome. I mean, there's a lot that puts into it. I met Jim and his wife one Halloween night. I think it was during COVID. They just popped over here, and I was just tickled that they were, that they came and wanted to see our display. So I was just over the moon. John Bon Jovi might have just walked through the doors for all I cared right at that point. Be like, oh my God, it's Jim and his wife. So Jim and I always forget your name. I apologize. But if you guys are watching, Gauntlet has been thrown down. Make a video. And last but not least, shouting out number 6 on the list. From Dunella, New Jersey, which is 2 towns away from here, Chris and his family over at Nightmare on Whittier. I also did another video on them. They have probably the coolest animatronics I have ever seen. It's old school animatronics, air pistons. I mean, everything's pneumatic. It's thousands. If thousands and thousands of dollars of what goes into their display. They have a pumpkin reaper thing that rises to it's like Colossal from Distortions, but imagine this is the pumpkin guy in the pumpkin patch, and he's as tall as my house. And I'm like, oh my god! It's like, where do you get that? And I'm like, I don't even want to know how much you bought it for, but you know, it's so yeah. So you know, Chris and his brother, you know, it's awesome. I did a video, watch it, you know, go backwards. I'll put a link in the description below, you know, where you can find them on YouTube. They're also on Facebook and Instagram as well. They would love the support. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell. I have officially been shouted out halfway to Halloween. I've got 6 people here on this list. It's like the ice bucket challenge thing. You don't need a beer, but if you wanted a beer, you could. You know, have a soda, have a Coke Zero, have a glass of tea. I don't care. But guys, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Again, I started my channel with hopes of, you know, a few people liking the content that I was doing and what I kind of wanted to set out for. And it just tickles me to death that, you know, you guys, you know, continue to watch my videos and you like the content, you dig what, you know, your boy Glenn's doing, and I love it, and I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I really do. As long as you love it and as long as you're commenting, I am gonna get on here on YouTube and I am going to crank out videos. You know, sometimes I'm sporadic, sometimes I'm not, but you know, for the most part, I'm pretty relevant. But I do appreciate it. Much love to everybody out there. Y'all know what to do. Say it once, team. Say it twice. Say it 3 times. Always creep it real. See y'all in the next video. Take care.